there was an article I saw yesterday. You remember how the Trump administration is using DOGE, and they're cutting a lot of the federal budgets and a lot of the federal agencies, and all of us have been celebrating, you know, with birthday cakes and confetti about how feds are losing their jobs. The housing market in DC has been experiencing massive price drops. It's been a great year so far, right? It's been a wonderful year. Fuck the feds. I want more of them to lose their jobs. Get them out. Let's fix this shit. Let's stop spending millions of dollars on transgender education in Nigeria. Okay, all right? Let's stop spending money on sending condoms to Colombia. Let's stop all this weird fucking funding. USAID, cut it. Get it out. Well, it turns out, chat, we're all actually just racist. Trump's federal worker cuts are destabilizing the nation's 2 richest black counties. That's true, but unrelated. It's not unrelated, unfortunately. Business across Charles County and neighboring Prince George's County brace for impact. Since opening in 2022, Herb Bank's Waldorf area distillery has served as a gathering spot for federal workers, including 4 men who used to reconnect over cocktails in the tasting room every Friday evening. Lately, the group hasn't stopped in as often, nor have other regulars. Many in Waldorf, a booming majority black bedroom community in Charles County, are scaling back their spending amid the Trump administration's aggressive cuts to the federal workforce. Feds lose their job, slush funds get completely destroyed, black people most affected. The revenue has decreased significantly, Banks said of his business, a Copper Compass distillery. Charles and Prince George's counties, Maryland neighbors with intertwined histories, are the nation's richest majority black counties, with median household incomes that exceed $100,000. Nowhere else comes close. Dotted with mega churches, greenery, and stately homes, they serve as powerful symbols of black affluence and opportunity. Prince George's and Charles stand apart among majority black counties. These Maryland counties have more federal workers and much higher incomes than other majority black counties. And here's Charles County way up here. 54.12% black. Median household income in this county is $120,592. 21.82% of workers here are employed by the federal government. And then Prince George over here, 64.16% black. Median household income is $100,708. 14.08% are employed by the federal government. The heck is a mega church? A mega church is like when you think of a church, you either think of like, you know, the small town church that can fit like maybe 50 people, or you think of like those old Gothic cathedrals that are massive and imposing and have impressive architecture. But a mega church is like millions of dollars worth of a church that looks like a commie block. Like they're really ugly and really big. Mega church is disgusting blasphemy. Yeah, they're like televangelists. Televangelists. Mega church is a stadium. Yeah, that's they're just really weird. I think of Joel Osteen, where it's all talk and they aren't actually a part of the community and think of themselves as your betters. Actual Christians are 100% against mega churches. Yeah, I don't know anyone who likes mega churches, so I don't know how they keep getting people to go to them. Mega churches are stadiums. They're for people who like to pretend they're Christian without any of the moral and spiritual commitment. It's so fake, they don't even teach the scripture. Now, President Donald Trump's mass firings of federal workers are shaking the foundation of these suburban DC counties' success. Reliable, good-paying government jobs. Isn't that funny? That they started cutting all of these jobs and all of these sectors that were either worthless or wasting millions to billions of dollars? And now they're saying, well, now you're affecting black people. They can't get good, reliable paying jobs. What an odd thing to say! What an odd thing that all of these jobs that shouldn't have existed in the first place and were just there for busy work are having this effect. Even when they're making a ton of money, they're still living off the taxpayer. So this is like the, you hate the rich, but do you have the courage to hate the poor, but like backwards. About 1 in every 5 black workers here is employed by the federal government, double the statewide average. An analysis by the Baltimore Banner of U.S. Census data. Unlike other communities around the country, federal employment is the main determinant of income status in Maryland's black neighborhoods. Every time I said I hope more feds lose their jobs, I didn't realize how racist I was being, chat. I don't know. Fuck you, Baltimore! Here, each 1% jump in workers employed by the federal government adds about $3,300 in median household income. This robust black upper middle class has helped fuel small businesses, restaurants, and retailers across Charles and Prince George's. Now, local entrepreneurs fear widespread job losses will ripple across the broader economy. We're just trying to stay operational for as long as we can. And I can understand the concern of the local businesses, right? Like I've been saying, when I move back home, I want to be able to prop up and support local businesses as much as I can. The DC suburbs black boom. They're gripping it, chat. When President Franklin D. Roosevelt integrated the federal workforce through executive order in 1941, Prince George's was over 80% white and mostly rural. The order gave black workers who had long experienced discrimination in the private sector a path to better pay and career stability. Now, I don't know about Roosevelt's executive orders, but isn't that kind of weird that once again they're saying, hey, this area used to be majority white and now it's majority black, and that's a good thing, and we need to prevent it from changing. Isn't that kind of weird? During the Civil Rights era, the Fair Housing Act opened many suburbs to black families for the first time. By the early 1970s, the first wave of black families had moved into Prince George's to claim a piece of suburbia, and with it, the American dream. Many who migrated into the country were government workers from DC. Their children and grandchildren often pursued similar paths, drawn by the calling of public service and the promise of a middle-class life. One of them was Connie Moore, who grew up in a family of entrepreneurs and government workers. I don't think I would want to say that publicly. I feel like if somebody was like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm an anime woman. And they're like, oh, what's the background of your family? Like, what kind of, sectors did your family work in? And I'd be like, oh, my family's entrepreneurs and government workers. Like, it just makes them sound like they're lazy assholes. Because, like, in current year, when I hear entrepreneur, I think of like buying wholesale garbage from China and then trying to sell it at like 500% upcharge in the US. Right? That's what I think when I think entrepreneur in current year. Inspired by their experiences, she left the private sector in 2006, landed at the Department of Transportation, and purchased a home with her fiancé in Okokeek, a community of black professionals. That's true. Why settle for a job in the private sector where you can get fired at any time when you can just somehow land at a government position where, it's a little harder to fire you? After a promotion, Moore transitioned to the Department of Education. I want to know what she did in the private sector, right? Because how do you go from a private sector job to the Department of Transportation to having any business being in the Department of Education? Like, no wonder it was a worthless department. This is going to be it for me, Moore said, as she thought at the time. I want to stick with the federal government, get a good career, and retire. The concentration of federal workers in Prince George's County allowed it to become a national outlier, a place that grew richer and more educated as it became majority black. Today, more than 70% of full-time black workers in the county are homeowners, more than 25% higher than the rate for black Americans as a whole. Most people think of the black middle class as being primarily a product of business ownership or perhaps attainment of other types of professional occupations, but they don't think about the role of the federal government as a potential employer. Duke University economist William A. Sandy Darity said. Isn't that bad? Right? Like, if people are thinking of like black middle class people as business owners or being like professional occupations, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that ascribing them like, oh, I think these are intelligent and hardworking people? I don't understand what this guy's trying to say. Yeah, like they actually earned it. I know, right? Yeah, that's a worthy. This is so fucking strange. This is like trying to make you feel bad that like it's going to impact the economy of these places because they're majority black. And it's like, I don't want government workers to lose their jobs because they're black. I want government workers to lose their jobs because they're government workers and they're wasting my money. Is this DEI before DEI? This sounds like DEI before it got the name DEI. This sounds like, right, they might have had a program that was useful in the 1940s. And then they were like, we need to continue this in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, fucking 2000s. Because we can just give these jobs that do nothing, mean nothing, you don't need an education for, to people to make them look better. Like, it's very weird. Yeah, affirmative action. Temporary government program, if you will. I am so fucking suspicious whenever the government's like, yeah, we're gonna do this temporarily. I just don't believe you. In recent decades, the population boom in Prince George's has spilled south into Charles County, bringing an influx of educated black professionals to rural southern Maryland. By 2020, Charles had overtaken Prince George's as the wealthiest majority black county in the nation. I can't keep reading educated without thinking about that article. Like, every time I read the word educated, I think of an article from like a decade ago where they said that black women had finally become the most educated class of people in the United States. And the way that they arrived at this figure was because black women were given college degrees more often than any other race and sex combo in the country. And so it wasn't that they were actually more educated, it was that they had more degrees. And it didn't take into account what kind of degrees these people had. So it could have been degrees like that guy on financial audit who was like, I am going to get a PhD in African American literature of the Appalachians. Federal workers make up an outsized part of the workforce in Charles and Prince George's. Both counties have a higher percentage of federal workers than the state average. So you have Charles at 28.38, Prince George 18.32, Anne Arundel 12.74, Baltimore County 9.78, Montgomery 9.67, Howard 8.67, and Baltimore City 5.48. Interesting. In 2018, Denise Joseph moved from Upper Marlboro to Waldorf for the hiking trails, extra space, and nearby black cultural landmarks for her foster children. What? She's black, but like, what does she mean by moving near the landmarks for her foster children? As someone who wants kids, not once have I ever thought, where are some nice white American landmarks that I can find for my kids? We need to go near Mount Rushmore, you know? I feel like they get overpaid, very much so. We've been complaining about overpayments and how like Congress and the Senate will pass shit to do with healthcare that they don't have to deal with because they get their own special healthcare, you know? All of New England is a white landmark. It's because you don't define yourself by your skin color. I mean, I'm sure they would say, that's because everything is made for white people here. In her new neighborhood, federal workers lived alongside military service workers and teachers. For years, Joseph worked for public schools, local universities, and county government, but aspired to join the federal government. What? Who aspires for that? Eventually, she landed a dream job creating policy and leading trainings at the Department of Education. I love how this article is supposed to make us feel bad for people, but it just doesn't. I felt like it was a culmination of all of the different experiences I had, Joseph said. I figured that going there would just be my final stop. If I can just get a federal government job, I'm set for life. I won't ever have to worry. On January 29th, less than 2 weeks after Trump's second inauguration, Joseph was nearing the end of her workday when she received an email at 7:58 p.m. At first, it looked like spam, but after opening an attachment, she learned she was being placed on administrative leave. Oh God, we love having a good ending to a story. Amid sleepless nights and difficulty eating, she said she has spent over 2 months contacting nearly 100 representatives from Congress and sending dozens of emails to the Office of Personnel Management, hoping to be reinstated. Department of Education's gone, baby. It's gone. It's gone. Rip bozo. Get a job. Learn to code. Learn to code, lady. This is part of my purpose, my passion, she said. I love helping people, and the federal government helped me do that. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Is the most terrifying sentence a man can hear. I don't know if this woman is deluded enough to actually think that she was helping people being a federal worker, or if she just has to say this because she wants her job back. She's like, yeah, I know I was fucking everyone else over, but like, fuck you, I got mine, right? Like... Moore received a reduction in force notice in March. Her fiancé is also a government worker. If he loses his job, she said, she's not sure they can afford to remain in Prince George's County. Oh. Oh, that's so sad. Oh. I cannot believe that this is the federal government today. I voted for this! I voted for this, and I would vote for this again! Janine Horn estimates that 75% of the clients she sees at her health and wellness studio near Waldorf are federal workers. During recent meditation, yoga, and Reiki sessions, the workers have discussed their fears. Some who still have jobs dread checking their email and showing up to workplaces wrought with disgruntlement and fear. Others, laid off after decades in the government, are wondering how to start over. Horn herself has experienced anxious days. Less than a year after she opened a physical location of Zen Well Studio, her business experienced a sharp downturn. My clients were scaling back, and that was a source of worries for me, Horn said. In recent weeks, however, her business has rebounded. She believes that's a sign that ongoing stress related to the federal government is driving demand for mental and physical health services. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta see what she offers at her Zen studio. Zenwell Studio pitch to Damon John of Shark Tank on Sway in the Morning. Sirius XM Shade 45. What am I reading? What am I fucking reading? Here's a video from 9 months ago.
Hey Janine, how are you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you, Joy?
I'm doing wonderful. So I'm super excited about the event that we are co-hosting on November the 16th at your wonderful studio in White Plains at 11:30 a.m. Can you please tell the people what they should expect for the Empower and Thrive event that we're hosting?
Yes. I'll be happy to. So I'm super excited for this event, right? We've been talking about a lot of different things surrounding hormonal imbalances, things that affect us women over the age of 40 as we begin to move into our mature stage of life. And what does that look like? You know, like a lot of our my clients that I work with, they really feel like they are on this island by themselves in a silo. And it is not just you. These challenges that we experience are not unique to just us in particular. So I'm excited to start the conversation, open it up, have people understand.
I'm a minute in and I have no idea what services she is providing here. I got hormonal imbalances, women around 40, so like maybe something to do with menopause, but like why is it called Empower and Thrive, and what are you providing?
Understand that there's help and support out here. We have so many different credible information to give out.
So many different incredible information to give out. By the way,
so many answers to your questions. We hope that you'll be able to find, you know, your community and your tribe here at this event.
Tribe mentioned.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I think the fact that you are a nurse and you have such a well-established business in Charles County is you're just a wonderful gem, right? Because you are someone that's relatable, you know, but then also you have this knowledge that can help us to understand the other side of life. We talk about, you know, when
gem or Jim. She said you're a gem, like Jemmy. I don't think I can make the joke I want to because it might be perceived as racist.
you're going through puberty and those sorts of conversations. But we don't necessarily talk about what happens on the other side, which I'm really excited about getting older. I don't know if I'm all by myself, but
who the fuck is excited about getting older? Who the fuck says that? That's not a normal human sentence. Yes, officer, this one right here. This is a lizard person.
I'm looking forward to
we was gemerald. Absolutely not.
Not necessarily because I got to do it. But you're right. With the changes within our body, it definitely makes you want to be more aware and feel like you do have a community of people.
Yeah, maybe when you're 12. Yeah, I was excited for getting older when I was like a teenager, right? Then once you start hitting your birthdays, like in your 20s, you're like, no, I want it to stop. Please stop. You know, like.
So I'm really excited. Some of the things that I'm going to be contributing to this intimate conversation will be from the perspective of diabetes. We're going to be talking about the skin, how that changes, because with the changes of our bodies as we get older, and also sometimes with the onset of disease.
But just because you're a woman in her 40s doesn't mean you're going to get diabetes. What are they providing? What is the service?
Differing health realities. Come a lot of changes with our skin. So I'm super excited to talk about that side of aging. And we're going to have some raffles. We're going to have opportunity to take some pictures. We're going to have some goodies in our goodie bags.
What?
And I think we're going to have a wonderful, good time. So please tell everybody where the event is going to be, the who, what, when, where, all that good stuff of your beautiful space.
Of course. So please join us on Saturday, November 16th from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. for the Empower and Thrive wellness event. We're just opening up the conversations. We're getting the conversations flowing. So it'll be at.
So they're just sitting around and talking at a wellness event? But like, what does their studio do? Do they just provide conversation normally? What is this?
475 Printers Court, and that's in White Plains, Maryland, at Zenwell Studio. I am looking forward to this and welcome you into the space, as Joy had mentioned. I think you'll all will find this very informative, very on brand, and right in time, in alignment with all of the challenges that we've been facing over the last, I don't know how many, months, years, post-pandemic era. And so we're really excited to welcome you into our space and talk about these things, and know you're not alone. So come and join us.
Wonderful. So be sure to check out the Eventbrite page that we have. It's Empower and Thrive. If you can't remember all that, just Google Zenwell Studio Empower and Thrive. The tickets are only $30. This is going to be an intimate setting of grown women having great grown conversations, and we cannot wait to see you. Have a good one.
Empower and Thrive, Mastering Hormonal Balance, Diabetes Management, and Healthy Aging. Workshop objectives: understand the hormonal imbalances, diabetes management, healthy aging. Why did they just put the same thing in two different colored circles? Joy of Beauty. Our speakers, Joy Johnson, CEO of Joy of Beauty, and Janine Horn, MSNED RNAHNBC, owner of Zenwell Studio. That's a lot of letters. What the fuck is this? This is a CEO Chats Reiki edition with Kathy Guzman Russell, President and CEO of Charles County Chamber of Commerce. Chat, please get involved in your fucking local government, man.
Guess who showed up? Who's in the building?
Hey.
None other than my wonderful, wonderful friend and supporter, Miss Kathy Guzman Russell.
Hi, Janine. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
I had a Reiki healing, and let me tell you something. It's a lot of people know my background as far as businesses, and even my personal relationship and religion and things of that nature. Let me tell you something. Open your mind. I invite you
and
to
your
open
wallets.
your mind and move forward with someone, first of all, that you trust. And I 1000% trust Janine from day number one, from her loving nature and her openness.
This is the
to
black
me.
version of Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop.
Yes, she admires me.
That's
but
true.
At the same time, I always trust the professionals. As the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce,
Always trust the professionals. If the mortgage lender says you can afford a $1.5 million loan, don't question it. You can afford it.
I always tell everybody, I am not an expert at everything, but I'm going to point you to the people who are the experts. And Janine, you're an expert. I love your heart. Congratulations on the opening of your businesses. Our first conversation at Starbucks Coffee on Smallwood Drive. Also another chamber member. Shout out to Alvin Stewart and the owner over there. Just, again, thank you for welcoming me into your space, for allowing me to see the progress that you've made from, I think it was, maybe 9 months ago when we sat down at the coffee house. And thank you for trusting yourself to come to Charles County to enrich the lives here of the Charles County residents, as well as, anybody who's going to be coming from the outside of the county. So thank you. I welcome you. There's other services that she offers. I see that her banks took advantage of the IV hydration. Go to her website, which is
ZenwellStudio.com.
ZenwellStudio.com. I invite you guys to open your mind to make sure that you get yourself centered and ready to go. There's a lot of work to be done in Charles County on our end with existing businesses, with businesses who are coming into the area.
What do they mean by this?
Need that a moment to just pause, reflect, get realigned. Is that the word that we're using?
Centered.
Yes. In order to move forward without fear, just take an hour.
What does that mean?
Take an hour with Janine. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I just had a stroke. You still don't know what these people are supposed to be doing. Aren't the IV hydration things? Wasn't that a huge joke where a ton of TikToks were being made a few months ago? Where guys were when you have to take your girlfriend to the emergency room to get an IV hydration because she's too retarded to drink water often enough? Isn't that what those things are? I just I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. I was what do we have here? Show me your studio! Without music. I don't want to get DMCA'd. I feel like they could have done more to make this look, I don't know, like a real business. Welcome to Zenwell Studio. Oh, they don't even read it themselves. Zenwell Studio is an inclusive, one-stop health and wellness haven dedicated to providing our communities with essential tools necessary to promote healing of the mind, body, and soul. We curate soul care sessions by using a variety of approaches, including activation coaching, laser skin care, yoga, sound healing, Reiki, and more. Chat, what the fuck is activation coaching and sound healing? What the fuck are those things? Schedule your free 30-minute consultation to see how our team can help you achieve your overall health. That is literally the last thing in the video. Okay, I need... What is activation coaching?
Activation coaching.
Helping people identify the resources that they have so they can use those resources more. That means internal resources, the things they feel or think or do inside of themselves, and resources that they can access in the community, in the support networks around them. Quite often people, when they have a problem focus, tend to not see or realise that they have resources available to them because they just haven't got their brains switched on to notice those resources available.
Stop saying resource! I don't understand! What did I just watch? Does she have a more descriptive video? Resilience in teenagers. How can coaching help? Comfort zones, coaching young people to learn and grow, positive emotions, well-being activity for teenagers and students. Why is this all teen-focused? Training to be a coach who supports young people, impact, and outcomes. Well-being education reform. The problem with WMHD. I don't even know what that is. Emotionally based school avoidance. I just wanted to stay home and play video games, man. How to become a certified youth life coach. NEET prevention! How coaching and positive psychology can help young people. They have a literal NEET prevention course. What the fuck? What the fuck? These videos sound like they'll help me, chat. These videos will activate me. Let's fucking go. Let's still. Oh my god! I'm feeling activated. White woman jump scare.
Overall, what would you say your biggest takeaways are, and how you're?
It is possible to organize my life.
What?
Which is like, it is possible. So thank you so much for that.
Hold on.
This is a user manual of your life, like when you're done with it. Yes, you've done 12 weeks of intensive work. You're still working, right?
I really appreciated the neuroscience pack because it provided so many of the whys. Like, why is this impacting time blindness? Why is this impacting? And a lot of that I've been able to incorporate in my...
I have time blindness, but also certified coaches review life-changing 3C activation training. We're a third of the way through this video, and I feel like I have heard nothing that makes sense.
Private practice work with folks. And it's just, like, you can see the light bulb go off. And they're like, oh, because there's so many of those negative messages that people are so frustrated of, why can everybody around me do the thing and I can't do the thing? And
I'm not broken. There are ways to hack it. And
I'm not broken. I'm a normal person. I got 3C activation training.
And I don't need fixing. I just need to figure out like how to work within me.
But what I use from this course is when a client comes in, and sometimes client comes in, and I think therapists know, everybody knows that sometimes they come in and they're just like, I don't have actually what to talk about. I just don't know what, but I would like to change something, just like, so and then I bring out my 3C activation book and was like, okay, let's do this one. Or if a client says, I don't know what to talk about today, sometimes they just wish for me to give them some kind of direction, and then I can offer them something from this toolbox. So.
And I wanted to remind people, we are not
That's not your real hair color.
Abled. We are differently abled abilities.
Hold on, what the fuck?
And I wanted to remind people, we are not disability abled. We are differently abled abilities. And
we are not disability abled. We are different a bit. What? Fucking what?
Wanted to remind people, we are not
disability
abled. We are differently abled abilities. And
what the fuck does that mean? What does that even mean? She's actually retarded. Holy shit. I that's a really convoluted way to say that you are below 60 IQ, dear lady.
With the values and the strengths and some of the other exercises, what the strengths are. So
why did she scream that?
We can really turn that negative anxiety on its head and celebrate the person for their strengths.
What?
What I use from this course.
Oh, she found the toolbox for her ADHD clients. All right, men in chat, listen up. I heard all of you guys have ADHD.
Is when a client comes in, and sometimes client comes in, and I think therapists know, everybody knows that sometimes they come in and they're just like, I don't have actually what to talk about. I just don't know what. But I would like to change something, just like. So and then I bring out my 3C activation book and was like, okay, let's do this one. Or if a client says, I don't know what to talk about today, sometimes they just wish for me to give them some kind of direction, and then I...
We literally just heard her say this. What does this have to do with ADHD? What is a... Yeah, we're looping. I was hoping that maybe there would be some more at the end of it, but it's literally just the same thing. What the actual fuck am I listening to? All right, okay, so those videos weren't helpful. What about this lady? Lindsay's 3C activation coach journey. Lindsay, please. I have no idea what this is. Educate me.
Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Hi.
A recent graduate of the 3C Activation for Coaches program. When I say recent, I mean like literally.
Why is her camera wobbling like she's underwater? That is gonna distract me the entire fucking time.
Today was our last class, so we just finished the 12-week program.
Do you guys see this? Is this AI? Is she not real? Why is the entire like picture wiggling? Horrible. She's on a boat. Is this a boat? It doesn't look like a boat. It looks like a kitchen. It's a cheap webcam. She sounds underwater too.
Super proud of myself, and I have so much clarity about the next steps that I'm going to take. And it wasn't always that way. When I
Her
started
voice
the
is
program
sped
4
up.
weeks ago, I didn't have clarity. I wasn't confident.
Wait, hold on.
Super proud of myself, and I have so much clarity about the next steps that I'm going to take. And it wasn't always that way. When I started the
Chat, is this woman real? Is this... Look at when she scratches her face. Am I Destiny right now? Am I having schizophrenia?
This is not a real
clarity
person,
about the next steps that I'm going to take.
right?
It wasn't always
This
that
is not
way.
a real
When
human
started
being.
the
I don't
program 4
know,
weeks ago,
man.
I didn't have clarity. I wasn't confident. I was dysregulated. It was chaos for me in terms of just managing my life. And so I really needed to go through the program as a student and be honest about where I was, because I'm not going to be able to help anybody. I can't be a coach if I can't coach myself.
What does she mean by this?
Not that I have to be perfect, but I need to understand how to be an advocate for myself before I can be an advocate for anyone else. So that means I came into this program without any coaching experience, which is what I absolutely love about this program, is it offers you the opportunity to kind of start from ground zero.
I still have no idea what this activation coaching is. We've watched like 4 videos now. What is this?
And really learn those foundational tools that are going to get you clear so that you can take the next step. And that's absolutely what that did for me. Not only for me, but for my daughter who has ADHD, and she was at the time in
This is the 3rd time they've mentioned ADHD in like one of these videos or video titles. What is activation coaching and what does it have to do with ADHD? Are these just like more worthless jobs, but instead of being in the government, they're private sector worthless jobs, and then these women get paid to just say nothing for 8 hours a day? And then like random government contractors come in and they're just like, I trust this woman with all of my being. She has helped me so much with all of her activation and her expertise. She is an expert. It's like, what are they doing? What is this?
grade, getting ready to go into high school. So I was looking for things for her when I stumbled upon this program. And I was also kind of in this point in my life where I was trying to decide about going to school, back to school, to get a master's degree in social work. So this felt like it came at the right time. And, you know, I did have some questions about, you know, can I afford this? Is this a time commitment that I can invest in? You know, is it going to pay off? Am I going to be disappointed? All these questions about, you know...
Yeah, these are questions I had, but I still don't know what activation coaching is. How have I watched multiple videos from multiple different people and none of them have been able to explain what the fuck this is or what it does?
Is this going to be the right program? What if it sucks? You know, where am I going to be at the end of this 12 weeks? Am I going to be...
I don't know. It's a mystery because I don't know what the program is. Where are you going to be in 12 weeks? How many brain cells have you lost at this point?
Closer to my goal, or am I going to be further away? And I had to just kind of get clear with myself and also ask questions. You know, don't be afraid to ask Brooke and Kelly these questions. They're going to be there for you and answer those questions for you like they were for me. And I'm so glad that I took that leap because right now, the way I feel, the confidence that I have, the clarity that I have is invaluable. I hope that anybody who's considering this program is willing to put the time and energy into it because
what is happening?
Get out of it. And I would say if you have ADHD or you have a loved one who has ADHD, you have nothing to lose. You're going to only gain information that's going to help improve your life, even if at the end of this you decide to take another path. So anyone who's considering this,
I'm not gaining any information.
and I wish you all the best of luck.
Namaste, crazy woman. Wait, hold on. This one's a man.
Hey, my name's Jamie.
Hold on, Jamie's journey to expertise in 3C activation. Maybe, chat, he's a man. Maybe he'll actually say something of value.
I run a program called Flojo, which is a coaching program for entrepreneurs and creatives living with ADHD who are struggling with burnout.
What? Why do they all mention ADHD? Why did we all mention it? Is ADHD required to get something out of activation coaching? And also, everybody else was talking about like youth or just ADHD in general. And this guy is like, yeah, I'm going to be coaching creatives and entrepreneurs.
Creatives living with ADHD.
Is this like that? Is this like that one scammer guy who set up that UEL network where he's like, I've tried every other scam. Gamers are retarded, so they'll surely buy from me. I'll be able to make money off of the gamers by pretending to make an esports league. This guy's like, yeah, content creators are fucking retarded. They'll hire me as a consultant.
Who are struggling with burnout and struggling to...
Wait, hold on. Activation method, or AM coaching, is a dynamic type of life coaching which is used worldwide to help individuals, families, couples, and organizations to support the individual and the group. That explanation still doesn't tell you what it is! That doesn't tell you what it does! I was like, when I go to, like, get help with anxiety, they're like, we're gonna teach you methods to help deal with your anxiety when you're alone or in crowded places. We're gonna teach you things to say to yourself, to physically do, to help you deal with this. This doesn't tell me anything. What are they doing? It tells you who it's for, but not what it is. ADHD bros, I think they're trying to take advantage of you. I think they're using ADHD in the way that like all Zoomers think they have ADHD when they really don't. So they're gonna be like, oh, I need activation coaching for my ADHD. You know, like one of those things.
Flow and want to find a quicker and easier and funner way of scaling their business. And
yeah, a fun way. Okay.
So about 4 or 5 months ago, I wanted to really increase my knowledge and capability and credibility.
So he only decided to increase his credibility 5 months ago? So he started doing this 5 months ago? Or was he doing it before and he was like, oh, I don't have enough credibility, so I need to get more than what? What am I listening to?
In the ADHD space specifically. I'd done a bunch of different coaching trainings, but I felt like there was a bit of gap in my knowledge and sort of credibility. And so I looked at a bunch of different programs, and the two things that were really important to me were, you know, a solid accreditation and a certification that was credible and that I could use to build authority.
He keeps using the word credible. Build authority. He's using the word credibility again! Chat, this is a snake oil salesman. I don't trust anything this broccoli man is saying. This broccoli zoomer.
And credibility in my personal brand. And then the other really important thing was to make sure that I was learning new things, new interventions and new techniques to work with my clients, and really to understand the neuroscience behind those techniques and behind those interventions.
I'm sorry, I can't take anyone with this accent talking about neuroscience seriously. You know, that's just, you know.
So after doing a bunch of research and speaking with Brooke, I decided to join the 3C activation coaching program. And it's been fantastic. Brooke's
He's just saying words.
To make sure that, you know, any sort of additional learning or questions that I have, that she's just been really responsive.
What was that cut?
Sure that I'm super engaged and really enjoying what I'm learning. She has a very...
So is this like an MLM? He went to Brooke to get more certifications and credibility in 3C activation, and now he's doing 3C active. This is just an MLM. All these... This is just body wraps repackaged as like mental illness.
Light and friendly and positive energy, which is just fun to engage with. The course material is fantastic. She's put a lot of effort into delivering not only the techniques and interventions, but also really marrying the neuroscience and the explanations to why.
Marrying the neuroscience and the explanations. Okay.
These interventions work for people with ADHD, and that's been a really key thing for me. I'm in the last week of the program right now. I've learnt a lot. I have a lot more confidence talking about ADHD with my clients. I now feel like I'm able to start building more of a public basing brand and start educating through content online about ADHD. I have lots of juicy things to refer back to from the coursework.
Why would you say it that way?
It's been a really, really valuable investment.
This is the official organization. Activation coaching. Coaching for self-leadership. Allow me to introduce you to yourself.
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
What is this, like, alien jellyfish Native American cheetah with a butterfly saddle? What is happening? What the fuck is this website? Why does that man have a tiara? All good questions that I don't have answers to. Is this man a Yakubian? Is that a Yakubian headband? Your coaches, Kevon Fair and Michelle Gaza. That can't be her real name. Michelle began working with IFS in 2008, completing level 3 training at the end of 2009, after 10 years of international expertise as a yoga instructor. What? Kevon began his devoted study of human design in 2010 after developing lucid dreaming and out-of-body travel skills for years. Bro, they're marketing fucking astral projection. These people, this is the international, or no, sorry, not the international, it's just the United States. It's the national organization for this activation coaching shit. And they're selling you lucid dreaming, out-of-body travel. How do so many people end up getting these, like, absolutely worthless positions and make money off of it? How are they making money? Is it, like, because all federal workers are, like, 55 IQ at best? And so they're like, yes, please, daddy, teach me how to astral project. I'm going to give you government funds. I don't understand. When we met in 2013, we instantly knew that we had a special magical combination of tools that could help clients tackle just about any challenge they face. As the first coaching duo to use the potent combination of human design, IFS quantum shamanic healing, and advanced dreaming work. We are uniquely positioned to help you move through trauma, pain, suffering, and confusion in a way that is enlightening and even fun. You know, instead of pledging allegiance to the state of Israel, did Kirsche ever think about making a quantum shamanic healing company? Because I feel if he made, like, KQSH, he could maybe get rebanked pretty quickly. If these people can do it, I'm sure he can, right? The fun part might be hard to believe, since the process of healing and awakening can be fraught with pain, confusion, anxiety, and overwhelm. After doing dedicated and extensive work on ourselves, we know firsthand how vulnerable you can feel in this journey. Yes, we've investigated ourselves and we found ourselves to be the premier experts in this field. Oh my god. For this reason, we provide a safe and supportive space for you to explore what feels very unsafe, your triggers and the patterns that hold you back, using human design to help us get a big picture view and to map the territory that you will be navigating. You will feel more confident, encouraged, and energized to embark on your journey. I just want to remind people, the only reason we're reading this fucking gobbledygook is because we were reading an article about federal workers losing their jobs, black people most affected, the economy in the largest, wealthiest black-owned neighborhoods is going to fall because of all of the federal funding cuts. And then they brought up this lady who was complaining about how she went there last year to set up a healing studio. And I was like, what the fuck is activation coaching? And why is she offering that? And it took us like half an hour to finally get to any fucking kind of answer about what activation coaching is. Again, I like small businesses, but if you're selling snake oil, I'm not going to give a shit if your business is failing. ADHD does give an advantage here. Combining that with the uplifting, profound, and deeply refreshing reset of unburdening ceremonies with the IFS. Yes. We will be unburdened by what has been. Our clients discover there is also joy in this process of healing our pain. Our clients experience healing trauma, aligning with true purpose, mending relationships, feeling lighter, greater motivation, increased energy, razor sharp clarity, expanding abundance flow. What the fuck does that mean? Increased lucidity, greater favorable synchronicity. What the fuck? More peace, satisfaction, success, and joy, and much, much more. Is this just like Scientology, but for black people? Is this just black Scientology? What am I reading? Yes! Oh my god. It's Timu Scientology. Look, they don't even need to ask where the white women at. The fucking star-found girlfriends will just come to you. The Sigma activation coach black male needs his astrology white girlfriend. From the people who brought you Yakub Black Scientology. If you're interested in working with us to develop your self-leadership, we're currently accepting clients who are interested in both human design and IFS. We know some people come to us looking for just one of those tools. However, although after almost a dozen years of working with clients, they've been on this grift for over a decade, man. Holy shit. Our data shows that those who embrace both of these paradigms have the greatest results in the shortest amount of time. For this reason, we now work exclusively with clients who are open to this alchemical combination. Does this feel like a good fit for you? Begin to cultivate self-leadership with us. Sign up for an intro package today using the green buttons below. Choose IFS intro package with 2 IFS and 1 human design session. Or if you call in the next 10 minutes, you'll get $10 off your first astral projection package right now. You'll even get free shipping on a magic wand, but only if you call 188 definitely not bullshit in the next 10 minutes. I feel like I'm literally reading an infomercial from the 90s. Oh god, what's the price? I'm gonna have to click on it. Our favorite way to work with clients is our in-person private personal retreats hosted at a 5-star Airbnb. There's no fucking way. Check out our 5-star sparkling clean Airbnb. We provide a kitchenette, full private bathroom, and an outdoor hot tub. Just steps from your door. Relax and enjoy unobstructed views of the Front Range, including Tava Kiva, aka Pikes Peak. This looks fun. Hosted by Michelle. 4 guests, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Sorry, 2 bedroom, 2 bed, 1 bath. There's 294 reviews. That means at least 3 times as many people have stayed here because most people don't use reviews. Top 1% of homes. Holy shit! This is the longest fucking... Holy fuck, I'm not reading all that shit. You're crazy, bitch. Check-in date. Guest favorite. Loved everything from the decor to the clean products that match what we use at home. What? Wait, why did they all disappear? Can I see... Wait, they don't have any 1-star ratings. What about the 4-star ratings? Can I see the 4-star? Learn how reviews work. No, I don't really care how they work. Let's look at the pictures. Photo tour. This just looks like an apartment. Like, this literally just looks like an apartment. Why would you stay here? There's like nothing fancy about this. I don't understand. This deep dive seems to leave us with more questions. Yeah, I'm more confused than when I first got here. Not even a photo of the view. What is the point of this? This just looks... Like, I know it's supposed to be like Zen garden-y, but this just looks messy. It doesn't look relaxing. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful view of this fucking suburban complex, man. How beautiful. In before 10K donathon for Kirsche's Quantum Shama Trauma Healing Vacation Retreat. Yakub, stay away from the fox woman. But Yakub is my creator. Wait, they have pictures. They have pictures of exterior 2, and it says a hammock. But, like, I don't even see a hammock. And then there's hot tub pictures, and it's just the same 2 pictures that were in exterior 2. What the fuck? How much is this? Add dates for prices. Let's say we're gonna go in June, all right? Oh my god, so many of these dates are already taken. What the fuck? And like midweek is usually the best. Let's go like Wednesday into Thursday. 2-night minimum. What the fuck? Okay, Wednesday into Friday. $122 a night, and you're required to do 2 nights. So it's a minimum of $244, and then an $85 cleaning fee, a $46 Airbnb service fee. So it's $375 before taxes. And it just looks like a fucking apartment. Why would you stay here? I mean, I guess that's another way for them to make money. They're on that Airbnb grift. For longer day or stays, we can also schedule day trips into the mountains and outdoor hot springs. So like travel agent. Medicine ceremonies with trusted local medicine people are also available. Oh, it's fucking ayahuasca! This is the shit that one-shots the liberals! Oh my god! Oh, there's something called Edenology, holistic wellness as well. Nice, they'll buy you weed. No, they'll buy you a fucking trip you can't come back from, baby. Holy shit, they're actually advertising the ayahuasca stuff. Oh, it said right here, we require a 2-night minimum, but recommend 3 nights as a minimum. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure it has nothing to do with $122 a fucking night. This allows you to settle and ground on your arrival date and have a check-in session, followed by 2 full days to work extensively with us. This schedule allows room for rest and integration. This also allows flexibility to work outside in nature, explore somatic movement work, and even art therapy and parts mapping. Go on a deep dive of inner work without distractions. Enjoy private space to process and rest in between sessions. Professional chef-prepared meals are also available at very reasonable rates. It's probably just feckin' HelloFresh. Schedule a free consultation. I feel like I should send them an email. I feel like I should send them an email, man. What is the IFS intro package? It's $400 fucking dollars is what it is. Remember they said almost a dozen years of working with clients, our data shows that those who embrace both paradigms have the greatest results in the shortest amount of time. For this reason, we now work exclusively with clients who are open to this alchemical combination. So no longer can you only buy one or the other. You have to buy 2 of them. And the IFS Self-Leadership Super Package, that's like the Super Maya, is $400. Intro package, only 1 package available per client, most affordable package, giving you an opportunity to sample our services and the different tools we offer to help you into alignment with your divine blueprint, supporting your higher self to get into the driver's seat. How do people pay for this? Like, chat, don't pay for this. Just watch streamers. It's literally free, and they say dumb shit all the time. Listen to the shit coming out of my mouth, alright? Like, you didn't pay for this. It's alchemy. That's like science, and you can't argue with science, true. Now, this package is not refundable, and all sessions must be booked within 90 days. Holy fuck. And the other package, HD Intro Package, is also $400. Wow! So you have to spend a minimum of $800. Only 1 package available per client. This is our most affordable package, giving you an opportunity to sample our services and the divine tools we offer. Oh wait, no. Okay, I understand. I misspoke. It's $400 minimum. And each of these come with both of the things needed for the alchemical combination. So it's only $400. All right, I understand. But you get a dream rave reading and a human design reading. Do they explain what those are on the website? The New Earth Self-Leadership Academy, or NESLA, apprenticeship program. NESLA is currently available as an apprenticeship program designed for those who are interested in a deep dive into the world of shamanic healing, human design, and interdimensional lucidity. This is an opportunity to work directly with Michelle and Kavone to master these fantastic tools for self-leadership. Apprentices receive one-to-one coaching, mentoring, and teaching, all tailored to their individual needs. Enrollment is ongoing and you may start at any time. The apprenticeship programs are designed to allow you to work at your own pace and take the time you need to master these skills. You must be approved to join this intensive program. Nesla is an advanced activation school supporting spiritual seekers, light workers, and star seeds of all ages. What the fuck is a star seed? To align with their soul's purpose and their multi-dimensional intelligence. Self-leadership and higher self-embodiment is a fundamental skill that can be taught, practiced, and learned. We help students discover who they really are and how to stand in their power. Our graduates experience profound, multi-dimensional healing. Together, we lay the groundwork for a new reality in which their higher self is in the driver's seat rather than conditioned, distorted fragments or parts running the show. Nesla students learn powerful tools and techniques, then spend time applying them, practicing them, and experimenting with them. We provide a supportive environment as you gain confidence in your ability to apply these tools on your own. We combine webinars and private sessions to allow you to study these tools in depth at your own pace, while allowing having access to support and coaching whenever the need arises. These are rigorous classes that require your full participation. This is not just a study of theory, but an opportunity to actually apply the tools you've gained proficiency. For this reason, we are now offering the coursework as an apprenticeship program so that each candidate can structure their journey in a way that is right for them. We recommend studying all subjects, and discounts will be available for students who want to study all the tools online. Shamanic Healing with Michelle Gaza. Access to micro-coaching, bonus, get unstuck with stickers workshop. Learn the IFS method to heal and integrate fragmented parts of you that are stuck repeating stale patterns due to trauma, pain, confusion, misunderstanding. Bring these aspects to your own higher self for healing and release. These people are fucking crazy, chat. What is happening? You will learn to travel through your timelines and rescue any parts of you that are disconnected from your 0 point now power. Why are they explaining this like it's a JRPG minigame? What is happening? This is just Scientology rebrand. It's Scientology for black people. And this process reclaims energy that is being siphoned off and drained into pockets of unresolved trauma, pain, and confusion where parts of you currently remain stuck. These stuck parts can exist anywhere on your timeline, whether it's in this life, parallel lives, or past lives. How are you supposed to heal the trauma of a parallel life? Like, what does this even mean? Learn to distinguish between the self and sub-personalities. Oh my god, they have head systems. Oh my god, head systems are making a comeback, chat. Work with inner protector parts who might be rigid and resist healing due to fears of being overwhelmed by intense feelings or pain. Learn to access exiled inner children to release their trauma and restore their organic light templates. Learn to work with your critters or undesirable entity attachments, releasing them from your energy field and returning them to the light. What the fuck am I reading? Kivone will guide you through the process of understanding your human design. From following your strategy and authority, understanding your aura type, understanding the magic of your profile, and discovering your individual superpowers in your chart. Chat, I can become an X-Man. You will also learn about your PHS, primary health system, and what this means in terms of what diet is correct for you. I don't think these people should be giving, like, food advice. This is just new age bullshit. I am astounded. Additionally, you will learn about what location is ideal for you to live in based on your body design. What? Kivone will also provide guidance about your transit charts, i.e. Saturn returns, Chiron returns, and Uranus opposition. I feel like most people's anus has opposition. And how these impact your experiences, as well as how you can learn to take advantage of opportunities provided in these transits. Course topics include the 9 centers, the qualities and themes of the 9 main chakra centers, the 6 profile archetypes and the 12 profiles, human design and relationships between aura types, human design and relationships, channels and connection themes, bonusu, what human design can teach us about authentic sexuality. What is authentic sexuality? Mastering your multi-dimensionality, astral travel, lucid dreaming skills, out-of-body experiences with Kivone Fair. Kivone will practice guidance and exercises to build your lucid dreaming skills and achieve out-of-body experiences, developing the capacity to co-create multi-dimensionality with your higher self. You get an astral travel field trip, pre-recorded. Oh my, your life will never be the same. I kind of want to do like an astral projection course on stream. This is just fucking freaky, man. Holy shit, that menu was massive. Why does she look like she took a headshot for like a Renaissance fair? This is goofy. This is fucking goofy, man. Michelle has developed a gentle, powerful healing style based on years of training as a yogi and shaman, combined with her training in the internal family systems therapy model. Clients benefit from her ability to bring healing light into any situation. She has experience addressing a range of traumatic issues, from everyday childhood wounds to the extreme trauma of satanic ritual abuse, and the challenges veterans face after surviving warfare. No! How are you gonna put satanic ritual abuse next to veterans surviving warfare? This woman is crazy. This woman is insane. Sessions are 90 minutes. It's a free consultation. How much does a shamanic healing 90-minute session cost? Why is this so long? To get a code for your package, fill out the form? International clients, we accept Venmo, Cash App, or Stripe. That's how you know a business is legit. Low income? Contact us for low income rates on sessions. I'm a streamer. I have volatile income. Date and time. It's $200. What the fuck is this image? It's $200 fucking dollars, man. This is more expensive than my actual deep tissue massages that heal my pain. They have a fucking tip jar on their website. There's a tip jar here. What the fuck? Michelle began her formal study of psychology at the age of 16, enrolling in a 2-year college-level course offered at her high school. After a full session explaining the challenges she was facing, Michelle was disappointed that the first response was to prescribe prescription drugs. She knew that this was not the route she wanted, and she was looking for something to actually heal her problems, not a band-aid to numb her further. But the mainstream medical and academic worlds did not seem to offer any real solutions, only symptom management. Somehow, she made it to graduation. Apparently, she had depression and suicidal ideation at 19. And then began daily yoga practice. She traveled to India! Single white women should not travel alone to India. To further her studies and eventually practice with master teachers in 8 different countries, spending over 4 years overseas. This led to shamanic initiations in several healing traditions, as well as some difficult initiations into the world of sorcery and shadow work. When Michelle returned to the US, she began to teach yoga full-time and eventually opened a yoga school, Higher Vibration Yoga. While yoga provided valuable healing methods, it was not so effective at compassionate healing of the emotional body. She found that some traditions and practices effectively bully the client for their own good, and this can have terrible repercussions. Eventually, she discovered the Internal Family Systems Therapy, IFS, a profoundly effective, respectful, and compassionate approach to healing trauma. Michelle was so impressed with its effectiveness, she completed all 3 levels of training offered by the Center for Self-Leadership, now called the IFS Institute. The IFS system proved to be excellent at healing trauma, and Michelle began to feel that she could no longer just teach asanas? Was that like ananas? Without providing trauma healing tools as well. Thus, activation coaching was born! Wait, is she like the creator of it? During shamanic healing sessions, Michelle uses IFS techniques along with a synthesis of healing arts from many shamanic traditions. Isn't this cultural appropriation? Isn't it? Like if you go to like different cultures and you absorb their shamanic traditions and then you combine all of these different cultures' shamanic traditions into like one like weird blob of all of these different isn't that actual unironic appropriation? It's cool. She's a white woman. This allows clients to clear out unfinished emotional business. Oh, you're right. It is just IBS, but for your emotions. Michelle will travel with you to the places in your timeline where parts of you are stuck. Her role is to remain anchored in her higher self and to guide you in your clearing process, getting to the root of the issue and releasing patterns that no longer serve you. Issues that seem insurmountable are transmuted and dissolved for good. Once the trauma is released from your system, energy that was once trapped can be redirected to something positive and fulfilling. Your system can rejoice in the fact that you are more than your past, and you can safely enjoy a future different from what you've always known. Man, I just like... Michelle created a space I could safely access many painful feelings from an 18-year-old memory and let them go. The most psychedelic experience I've ever had while sober. Oh my god. But she can help with the false light deceivers. Oh, he's also got like a Power Rangers headband. Chat, what fucking are these people? Conscious coloring. Kivon's long-awaited conscious coloring book is now available. Enjoy unique, original hand-drawn images filled with light codes and downloads. Most of these images were created while living at 9,500 feet in the Rocky Mountains. Is that a positive? Does that matter? Kivon put so much love into this project and was so excited to offer it to you. Google Kivon Fair Conscious Coloring, and you'll find plenty of booksellers to purchase from, including Powell's, Booktopia Australia, and Waterstones UK. They added some pictures of their coloring abilities. Chat, look at how well this user colored the coloring book. False light deceivers offer a free Kirsche with new membership. A fantastic coloring book. This book is filled with intricate, original, unique, hand-drawn images. It is unlike any other coloring book I've ever seen. Really enjoying coloring these images. They come alive when color is added. Hold on, this woman, this name, M. Gaza. M. Gaza, almost like Michelle Gaza, wrote a review for a book being sold on her website. We figured it out. We figured it out, chat. Going far beyond the confines of the bedroom into the workplace, the church, and the media. Yet despite all the attention and even obsession devoted to sex, human sexuality remains confusing and even foreboding. What, after all, is authentic human sexuality? That is the question the author set out to answer in this wide-ranging and probing book. Heh. Informed by sociology, psychology, and theology, the authors investigate how human sexuality originates both biologically and socially. They lay the groundwork for a normative Christian interpretation of sexuality, show how authentic sexuality is necessarily grounded in relationships, and explore such forms of inauthentic sexuality, such as sexual harassment, pornography, and rape. Since its first publication, the book has established itself as a standard text at numerous colleges and seminaries. Now, this third edition features updated theological and social science research, insights from current neuropsychological evidence, and an expanded biblical model of authentic sexual relationships, along with an updated discussion of sexual minorities, same-sex attraction, and lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning issues. A new generation of students, pastors, psychologists, and sociologists engaged in counseling will be indebted to the author for this study of an endlessly fascinating and perplexing facet of human identity. In this third edition of the book, the authors have made some changes in the organization of the material, but the major changes have to do with updating the social science research on issues of human sexuality. Building on the Trinitarian theology, I don't know what Trinitarian is, the authors bring a biblical model of covenant, grace, empowerment, and intimacy in divining authentic sexual relationships. Now, I'm no longer a practicing Catholic, but this sounds very heretical to me. This sounds the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh, how are they building Father, Son, Trinity theology around, like, sexual minorities? What is happening? They're basically twisting the holy books to talk about gender politics bullshit. That's what it sounds like. That's what it fucking sounds like, man. What the fuck is this? How is it okay to do this kind of thing with like Christian and Catholic theology? But if you even like scuff the edges of a Quran, you're gonna be beheaded in the street. I'm like, this is some advanced heresy. The human design reading with Kivan is life-changing in a way that is difficult to imagine before you've been initiated, as there's no other system that provides this information. By combining several ancient systems, including astrology, the I Ching, the chakra system, numerology, the Kabbalah? Why are the Jews suddenly involved? And astrophysics, human design offers detailed and accurate insight into your unique blueprint. Even if you study each of these systems separately, you would still not access the information. The magic is in combining these wisdom traditions in a particular way. So they're blaspheming both Christianity and Judaism. What is happening? Jewish magic suddenly. As a projector, he is designed specifically to guide others, and his readings are truly exceptional. Using your chart based on your birthday, time, location, Kivone can pinpoint the strategies that will optimize your experience in this incarnation. Kivone will discuss your energy body or aura, your conscious personality, and importantly, your unconscious self. He will provide guidance regarding the mechanics of your aura type, which is your strategy to operate in alignment with your design and your inner authority, which is how you are designed to make decisions and listen to your soul's guidance. Man. Human design provides a second chart called the Dream Rave, describing the qualities and characteristics of our dreamtime body, the body we are in when we leave our physical bodies at night. The chart is completely different to the waking life chart, and in most people, the aura type is different. For those who have already had at least 2 human design readings, a Dream Rave reading is an opportunity to explore that aspect of your reality. Man, new client intro package, how much is it? $399. Wow. I'm so shocked. Return client, human design reading. Oh, it's $144. What the fuck is this chart? Okay, so you have like a rotating floppy disk, and then like a weird wheel with a bunch of numbers on it. And then I think these are the symbols for the astrological signs. And then there's a really poorly drawn human figure here with like triangles and square. What the fuck am I looking at? It looks like a stealth bomber. The floppy disk was the answer the whole time. Oh yeah, that's that good schizo shit. This doesn't even have a name, so I don't even know what I would look up to find this. To like have somebody else explain to me what it is. I would love to look this up and like watch people talk about this on TikTok. Talking about exactly who the enemy is in the astral battle. That's what I want. That's the kind of schizo shit I want to see. Holy shit. Give it to me, freaky ass lady.
Never is what I figure. So, today I want to talk about the enemy in the spiritual, astral, magical battle going on. Hello, I am Amanda Edmonds, Professor Bangton, Susan. Hello, good morning, India. Hi.
What?
So yes,
what does she mean, good morning, India?
They wanted me to name the enemy in the spiritual, astral, magical battle that's at hand. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Tispal3.
It's really low, chat. It's on Instagram, so I can't even turn it up, man.
First thing I want to address is that there are forms of magical spiritual battle that target physical groups of humans. So you can buy a book called The Magical Battle of Britain. Maybe I'll type that in the chat so you can see it. The Magical Battle of Britain. It's a wonderful book. It's very...
Chat, why is one of the hashtags Hermeticism? What? Chat, is this real? This is so good. I've shared it with my family and close friends. Oh no, man.
Inspiring. And it's about how Dion Fortune, who wrote a famous classic of esotericism called Oh, wait, what was it called?
She just like me?
Something about the Kabbalah. She wrote a great book on the Kabbalah. I'm blanking on the title right now. The Mystical Kabbalah by Dion Fortune. There, it came to me. She led a group of adepts in doing astral battle with the Nazis. So the Nazis had a very clearly defined symbol, the swastika.
Chat, you need to astral project and do battle magic with the space Nazis! The internal space Nazis who are trying to disrupt your chakras, chat! Good morning, India!
And they were fighting under a fairly clearly defined ideology. And Dion Fortune figured, well, I need to impose a stronger force for good, a stronger astral symbol for good, over the Nazi swastika. So that's what she did. So her and a bunch of other adepts summoned, they would invoke Merlin and King Arthur and Excalibur. And
I'm summoning Merlin and King Arthur to give me protection over the swastika. Merlin will be my familiar in the battle against the space Nazis because I am an advanced witch. I'm an advanced witch with battle magic. I can defeat the space Nazis, Chad. How did we find this? How did we get here from government workers?
and the Knights of the Round Table and the symbol of the Rose Cross.
Oh,
and they asked.
Oh wait, the Knights of the Round Table is actually a summons, isn't it? That's a Final Fantasy summons. I know that one.
Really sent the Rose Cross to defeat the swastika.
I also want to remind you, to get to this video, I Google searched for Kabbalistic expression in astral projection Gemini.
And it's fun because there's a children's movie called Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is really, in a way, it's actually the story of Dion Fortune's magical battle of Britain, although not explicitly, but there's a lot. They have a lot in common. And I love the movie.
Dion Fortune. I spelt Dion like a black person. I spelt it Deanne. I was wrong. Dion Fortune. Immediately following Britain's declaration of war in 1939, Dion Fortune began a series of regular letters to members of her magical order. Oh, it's a woman. The fraternity of her inner light, who were unable to hold meetings due to wartime travel restrictions. Oh no, the witches couldn't have meetings because of the war. No, dude. With enemy planes rumbling overhead, she organized a series of visualizations to formulate seed ideas in the group mind of the race. Archetypal visions to invoke angelic protection and uphold British morale under fire. The war has to be fought and won on the physical plane before physical manifestation can be given to the archetypal ideals. What was sown will grow and bear seed. So all those witches trying to curse Donald Trump before the election actually had precedent to do so from our British foremothers, as it were. And also, it's no fucking wonder British has fallen. The British have fallen as a nation. This is something that people take seriously. It sounds like historical fan fiction. It does. As the war developed, this was consolidated with further work for the renewal of nation and international accord. For the first time, the fraternity doors were open to anyone who wanted to join in and learn the previously secret methods of esoteric mind working. With unswerving optimism, she guided her fraternity through the dark days of the London Blitz, continuing her weekly letters even when the bombs came through her own roof. I just don't believe you. I don't believe that was real. Introduction and commentary by Gareth Knight. It would be by a man named fucking Gareth, dude. What the hell? About pentagram shop, eh? The witchcraft and magic shop, it would be in Salem, Mass, dude. Oh no, my Nice! Book a psychic reading! Welcome to the Pentagram, where we offer psychic readings for those seeking guidance and insight into their lives. We added a new reading type for children aged 15 years and younger. Bro!
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
15-minute in-person, a psychic reading by phone. Okay, hold on. When I move, I'm bookmarking this website. When I move home, I'm gonna go do a psychic reading in person, chat. Oh my god, there's so many options here. There's so many options. Can I identify as a child so I get, like, price off? Can I be like, hello, I am in my astral journey, and the inner voice speaking to you right now is a part of my inner child who is fragmented on the parallel lines of my journey. I am from a different timeline right now, and I am only 13 years old in this parallel timeline. I need you to help heal my traumas so that I can put this part back together in my whole idealized self. I know how to speak to these people. I can speak retardese. All right, that's bookmarked. Let's go back to this freaky lady.
Bed knobs and broomsticks, watched it all the time growing up. Anyways, point being, lots of people normally think, okay, well, World War II was won by, troops on the ground. And sure, obviously that played a big part in it. But the idea...
Yeah, sure, hundreds of thousands of men died on the ground fighting in the armies, but, like, witches played a really big part in the war.
When you get into magic, part of what you learn is that everything happens astrally before it happens physically. This physical realm is a realm of causes. It's not a realm of effects. If you want to change something at the level of effects, you have to change it at the level of the astral, which is thoughts, visions, emotions, symbols. So it's my personal belief that Dion Fortune and her working group made a huge contribution to winning the war against the Nazis by sending the power of the Rose Cross, sending the power of basically Jesus and the resurrection.
How were witches invoking astral magic sending the power of Jesus? Can anyone explain how that makes sense in anyone's mentally ill mind? I'm listening. That's against the Bible. They're just like, I can just use the name Jesus for whatever I want. Like, the Bible is also magical mysticisms if you think about it. New Age Christianity. I need whatever drugs this lady's taking, because damn, they hit hard, baby. Jesus witches, they're heretics. They can't talk to Jesus. Is Santa also there? I mean, they were summoning, like, King Arthur as a familiar to fight the Nazi iconography, so why not? Why not summon Santa to the battlefield in face-down trap card position? In Trench Crusade, there's artillery witches, but they actually summon mortar shells. Closest thing on the top of your head. Even DMT wouldn't make you talk like her. Someone is probably dating this. There's a man out there who is putting up with this woman in daily life. Manifesting helped win World War II. So now when we ask, are we the bad guys? We can actually just blame it on women. It wasn't our grandfathers who brought this on us in current year. It was the women.
And the Holy Grail. And all of the mystical beauty of Great Britain against the force of Nazism, which was a very one-sided, imbalanced, destructive force.
If they were a one-sided, unbalanced, destructive force, and, like, the witches were trying to apply a balance patch to real life through using astral projection and summons powers in the Great Divine, is that the logic that we're working on here? That if the witches weren't applying the balance patch in the stars, the Nazis would have just steamrolled everyone? It wouldn't have mattered that they invaded Russia in the winter time. That they would have acquired the powers of the Aryan race to resist the cold. Is that what? They would have ascended to being the true Ubermensch that Hitler wanted them to be. Their muscles would have grown 5 times in size. Why always Nazi? I don't fucking know, man.
Carl Jung's characterized Nazism as being sort of like the shadow of Odin, so like the repressed shadow of the Germanic god, war god.
How are you summoning Jesus and Odin and King Arthur together at the same time? What is this like fucking Fate Stay Night ideology? What is happening?
God, Odin, sort of rose up in a very unbalanced and painful way. And Dion Fortune sent it back down with the Rose Cross. And there's also evidence that...
Wait, she's saying the Nazis summoned Odin and the witches vanquished Odin as a summon that the Nazis were going to use to increase their battle power. Chat, what the fuck is happening? What is fucking happening? Final Fantasy 17 confirmed. Yeah, Tetsuya Nomura, listen to this crazy bitch. That'd make a good game.
Aleister Crowley participated in the magical Battle of Britain. You know, he taught Winston Churchill to make the V for victory sign, which is actually, I don't know, why my Instagram filter is doing something weird. The V for victory is an invocation of Apophis. So it's an invocation of the Egyptian forces of destruction. So
why are the Egyptians getting implicated in this now? What is happening? What is going on?
He taught Winston Churchill to make this V for victory sign, invoke...
Winston Churchill invoked the ancient Egyptian mantras through the V for victory sign and became a transgender goddess in the image of Cleopatra.
Apophis and conquering his enemies with the power of Apophis.
The V is an archer thing. The English were longbowmen. How dare you erase strong transgender women from the battle of magic in England with the Nazis? They summoned Odin, you bigot!
So that's one way that Aleister Crowley participated in the war. Aleister Crowley was also a spy.
Who the fuck is Aleister Crowley?
But anyways, all of that is to say, it's understandable to ask who is the enemy in this astral battle that's on right now.
I thought it was the Nazis.
That is how magical battles have traditionally been fought, which is against a defined enemy. In the story I just told you, the enemy was the Nazis. Okay. It was very much like bed knobs and broomsticks. And
Aleister Crowley is a very important person. He was a very powerful occultist. Okay, are they summoning him, or was he alive during that time? A Satanist that believed he was an Egyptian god. She has just sent out so many fucking names and references at me. I feel like I'm being bombarded, man.
In the sense of, Seluna remembers, in the sense of, you know, summoning the ancient warriors of England to fight the threat. Okay, so the kind of magical battle that I'm talking about is different.
Okay.
In that there certainly are physical manifestations of the enemy. So I would say, for example, that a lot of intelligence agencies at work today are actually closely allied with organized crime and banking cartels, meaning...
Oy vey, cool it with the anti-Semitism witchcraft lady. I don't know, is she allowed to say this? Hold on, what's happening? Is that how you actually start talking about these things? You just try to sound as crazy as fucking possible first? What is going on? What a fucking turn!
Like the World Bank, meaning like huge flows of money connected to globalist institutions, let's say.
What the fuck is happening?
That,
my face when I look up and I'm on the same side as an astrology woman against the banks and the government. This is just like that Stone Toss comic. I'm so fucking confused.
And the biggest reference point that I would refer everybody...
The first part was just a Fed filter. Yeah, she didn't count on people with autism watching the video.
To learn more about this is called One Nation Under Blackmail. by a genius journalist named Whitney Webb, One Nation Under Blackmail. It's a very dense, heavily referenced book. It's all... Whitney Webb basically charts the history of a union between the Italian mafia and the Jewish mafia with the CIA, with the founding of Israel and Mossad, with what turned into the Jeffrey Epstein blackmailing.
Am I allowed to keep watching this, chat? Am I allowed to keep watching this? Activation code Ronald McDonald. What? I'm so fucking lost, chat. What is this madness? This is not Sparta. Holy, she's casting a spell on you. I don't think we can stop her, chat. I don't think we can stop her.
Operation. And this permeates government. This permeates, interestingly, there's a foreign lobbying institution called AIPAC that owns pretty much all of our Congress, all of the United States Congress, receives donations from a foreign country.
Woman, you can't talk about how much money AIPAC gives our government without getting black bagged. I worry for this woman's safety.
That should not be legal. In fact, JFK was trying to make it illegal right before he was assassinated, which the recent release of the JFK files emphasized again. So anyways, if you want to learn more about the precise details and the human faces and organizations, before...
Woman, your protection spells aren't gonna work. You're gonna wake up with 2 bullets in the back of your head from suicide. I beg of you.
Before he died, JFK gave a speech about how there's this many tentacled covert organization that's operating behind the scenes that has all sorts of different symbols, that has all different sorts of masks, that identifies itself in all different sorts of ways and changes.
So anyways, back to the German summoning Odin. I'm just waiting for it, man.
And has become this amorphous, really creepy thing that is a mix of extreme organized crime, human trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, CIA, intelligence agencies, and
once again, I want to remind you guys, we got here from reading about how the DOGE cuts and the federal the federal workers losing their jobs is mostly affecting black people. That's how we got here.
Corporate industry. So it's this huge, it doesn't have, what I'm trying to say is there's no one unified flag that all of this is flying under. Where does Russia fit in? Because it seems multifaceted, asks Professor Bengton. I'm not exactly sure. Russia wasn't the main focus of the Whitney Webb book. I'm sure there's things to do with Russia. But what I'm trying to say is there's things all over the place. It's this many tentacled, wiggly thing. I'm sure the KGB isn't full of a bunch of total innocents. But there's not a single enemy in the sense that there was in World War II, where there was this clearly defined symbol, the swastika. There was Hitler and his bunch of Nazi occultists to fight, and Dion Fortune could just...
How do you... I'm imagining, if I'm this woman, and I believe that in World War II, the Nazis were the bad guys, how do you align the Nazis being the bad guys with also saying Israel and the Jewish cabal under direction of Mossad and AIPAC are controlling America and wreaking havoc on the world? How do you hold those two beliefs simultaneously? I don't understand. This is beyond schizophrenia.
Right there. It's not like that. It has gone after World War II. The enemy wasn't completely vanquished. It went underground. The US absorbed so many Nazi scientists. Look up Project Paperclip.
True.
If you learn more about the CIA, the Bush family was intimately involved in funding Nazi projects. And then, of course, two of the Bushes became our president, and one of them was the leader of the CIA for a long time.
Did the Bushes fund Nazi shit? I don't know about that. I don't know anything about that. Oh god. Hold on. I'm gonna look up that other book that she was talking about. One Nation Under Blackmail is a damning indictment of the consequences resulting from the nearly century-old relationship between both U.S. and Israeli intelligence and the organized criminal network known as the National Crime Syndicate. This book specifically explores how that nexus between intelligence and organized crime directly developed the sexual blackmail tactics and networks that would later enable the sexual blackmail operation and other crimes of deceased pedophile and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Other books on Jeffrey Epstein focus on the depraved nature of his crimes, his wealth, and his most famous and politically connected friends and acquaintances. This book, in contrast, reveals the extent to which Epstein's activities were state-sponsored through an exploration of his intelligence connections. And I did read on stream before about his connections with Mossad. Operation Underworld was the beginning of the creation of a new underworld entirely. One built on the cooperation, if not outright symbiosis, created between organized crime and American intelligence. This Luciano Costello-Lansky-Siegel alliance was the basis of what subsequently became known as the National Crime Syndicate. The Green Gang financed its activities through the cultivation and sale of opium, an activity that was fully sanctioned by Chiang and the KMT. I don't know what the KMT stands for. This has 1,860 reviews. Focus, people! This is from Camper Dude. You'll need to make it through this book, which is a fairly comprehensive rehash of the history of the relationships and partnerships between certain sections of the government, the military-industrial complex, the banking industry, and organized crime. Now, that is a lot of ground to cover, and this book could easily have been twice or 3 times as long as the over 500 pages it already is. It's not so much about Epstein himself, but about the creation and functioning of the systems that allowed, and continue to allow, such a monster to not only exist, but to repeatedly get away with it. If you're looking specifically about info on Epstein and only Epstein, then you can pick up Volume 2 and skip this one. Though I do not recommend that you do that, for reasons I'll explain at the end of this review. For those looking for salacious details of Epstein's sex trafficking organization, look elsewhere. That's not what this series is about. It's about a much deeper and much more troubling systemic corruption that gave Epstein his incredible wealth and power over politicians, businesses, and law enforcement agencies that were supposed to be watching him, but ended up letting him go time and time again. Warning to conservatives, some of your heroes will be exposed as the truly evil people they are/were. I personally have no problem with this. To me, the truth is important. But if you're the type of person who responds reflexively when bad things are said about conservative Republicans, then you'll have some issues with this book. Then again, if you can keep an open mind and are old enough to remember the narratives presented at the time of the events referenced, you should be able to keep your preconceived ideas from blocking out the truth. KMT means the Kuomintang. They're basically the Chinese government that lost to the commies and that had direct ties to the founding of the triads. Oh. You'll have a much easier time with this book if you have some knowledge of the major corruption scandals of the 20th century. Specifically Watergate, Iran-Contra, the Promis/Inslaw scandal, BCCI, and the SNL scandal, as well as the history of Israel and its intelligence and defense apparatus. Even if you remember just the headlines from those days, it'll help. The only thing this book is missing, in my opinion, is some sort of family tree showing in graphic form the interconnectivity of the enterprises involved. But seriously, that would be somebody's dissertation giving the volume of information involved. I also wish it was better edited with a little more connective detail, but then that would make this 5 or 6 volumes rather than just 2. I'd love it, but I doubt many other people would. The main takeaways are that as long and as dense as it is, this is really an introduction to the systemic corruption of America, not the last word. If you're looking specifically about info on Epstein, and only Epstein, pick up Volume 2 and skip this one, though I do not recommend you do. Okay.
And it goes really deep. Basically, there was a CIA coup when JFK was assassinated. And basically every president since then has been controlled in a lot of ways by the CIA. So what am I saying? I'm talking about this from an American angle, from just sort of the point of view that I have right now. But this has tentacles, it has impacts all around the world on every continent. And sure, there's stories and histories and organizations that I have zero idea about that have plenty of nefarious participation in all of this stuff that's been going on. So what I'm trying to say is that the enemy in this astral battle, we're going up a level. So we're not looking at the enemy as human organizations. You know, St. Paul in the New Testament said, our enemies, you know, we are fighting against powers and principalities and wickedness in heavenly places. We must put on the armor of God. So powers and principalities. He was talking about forces, celestial, astral, spiritual forces that impact humanity and that keep humanity stuck.
Is this how is this how you prevent yourself from waking up dead? Anytime you talk about the Jews, you just gotta also start talking about witchcraft and astral projection. I'm so
Look up
fucking
Skull and Bones
confused.
Society. Both Bushes were members of this group. They went by the code names Gog and Magog. Both of these names were in reference to two powerful Hebrew biblical demons. This society was also called the Brotherhood of Death.
I've heard of the Skull and Bones Society, but I didn't know that the Bushes were Gog and Magog. That doesn't sound real. That part sounds goofy. Gog and my balls, dude. I'm suddenly unaliving myself with unaliving juice. Oh god, the rabbit hole is deep. I guess so. This woman's video. All right, I feel like I should cut this off because, like, I don't know how long we've been watching this, but her video is 1 hour and 19 minutes long, basically. Good lord. Shadow work, magic, and alchemy with Carolyn Lovewell, digital creator. Chat, she's got, I don't know what this is, but there's like a magical fucking Jew star here. There's a magical Jew star. Unlock radical freedom, exploring existential kink. Oh no, don't make me log in. No! Why does it make me log in for every... Okay, here we go. It's just a trail. What does that have to do with a magical Jew star? I don't understand. I was reading this Power Ranger guy's description of what he offers you from his coaching, and I wanted to look up the weird sexuality. Oh wait, hold on. This is that weird chart. Human design software from Jovian Archive. A 3/5 projector Kavon is a natural guide and messenger. That's cool and all. I don't really care about that. I want a video of someone like reading this chart.
And I don't know if Jovian will do that. I would love to see community more. I would love to see events, you know. I would love to see festivals. Because human design can feel very lonely. I mean, Ezra said, it's a selfish process. And I understand, I get that part. But sometimes it would be nice to be able to have more people to talk to, you know. I mean, the Facebook groups are good, but it's just reading and writing, you know. Like, you would love to have someone to just hang out with. And like for me now, it's already much better because when
This is kind of sad. He's just like, I'm really lonely. I know there's not a lot of people who are following his lordship, God Ra. Praise the sun god, but like, I want more friends.
I learned about human design, I started doing events. You know, I made projector meetings where I would meet only projectors, which is a beautiful experience, by the way. If you have a room of your own kind and only of your kind, it's nice.
Wait, you can't say that. That's racist.
Yeah, well, it's very calm. You know, it's like no one's really talking over each other. You know, everybody's listening. It's amazing. I think that my biggest takeaway is that everything's perfect as it is. You are what you are, and all your actions are somewhat in alignment with who you are, and you can just be aware or you can't, you know, and that I think you can free yourself.
Anger is a very, very powerful thing. It is deeply distorting.
Raw TV?
In anger, nothing is visible. Nothing. The manifester that is restricted and limited The manifester that feels alienated or isolated is a manifester that is developing a deep anger.
What the fuck is he talking
That
about?
anger can be pointed towards the social environment. That anger can be released with its parents, but that anger is there and it's
No, not Ra like Ra dog in it. Ra like the sun god Ra.
growing. See, manifestors are here to be able to operate on their own.
What the fuck?
They're here to operate on their own.
You can trust me to do
Most difficult
surgery.
thing for manifestors to do is to be able to operate in conjunction with others.
Like, I've seen Papa Gundam's videos on, like, the manifestors on TikTok. Is that this shit? Those people who are like, I'm manifesting money in my life, and I'm thinking of numbers 78, 36, 142, 7, 13, 2,784, 2,138,014. Right, is that this?
It's difficult for them.
Woo! Okay, bye! What the fuck is this video? Bro, my tab, like, didn't open where it should have. And then when I found the tab, opened in a place where it shouldn't have opened. It opens with spooky music. It's a sign, chat. We're playing with powers we do not understand. Yeah, it says, Ra-Uruhu. It makes me think of rathergood.com. They had that one song that was like, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Spooky.
Welcome to this introduction to the human design system.
Is this a real person?
I'm Rotwuru.
Oh, it's the old guy from earlier!
What human design can do for you. And human design is truly for you. For the enhancement and enrichment of your individual experience. But first, some background. In 1781, coincidental to Sir William Herschel's discovery of the planet Uranus, a momentous event took place. The advent of the nine-centered being. Centeredness is a structural aspect of evolution. Neanderthals were five-centered beings, like modern mammals, and so-called Cro-Magnon or Homo sapiens were seven-centered.
Okay.
We are nine-centered.
Okay.
We.
We? We.
Are a transitional form, Homo sapien intransitus.
What?
Human design is the knowledge of the mechanics of the nine-centered being, and this knowledge is the basis of the science of differentiation. Since 1987, we have been awakening to our nature and its extraordinary potential.
How do we get more centers?
As fitting a new evolutionary form.
Why is it suddenly so much louder?
Is a synthesis of past exoteric and esoteric knowledge integrated into a unique...
It's exoteric and esoteric, chat. You just wouldn't understand. You don't have a high enough IQ to understand Rick and Ra-Uruhu.
Revolutionary mapping. The Rave Mandala and the individual Rave body graph.
Rave
The mandala is the imprinting matrix. Though based on the astrological wheel for the purpose of tracking the planets, there are in fact 69,120 unique points of imprinting in the Rave Mandala. The inner wheel of the mandala is divided into the 12 astrological constellations.
Oh, I was right. I recognized
The
them.
outer wheel is divided into 64 partitions.
Partitions of the
The
soul.
64 is derived from the I Ching and its 64 hexagrams.
I don't know what that is.
This construct divides the wheel into genetic potentials.
Oh.
In human design,
Wait, so these like little floppy disks on the outside are fucking parts of your DNA? What the hell?
planetary imprinting is classified according to position in a gate. Every position within the arc of that gate has a value.
Okay.
A gate has an arc of 56 minutes, 15 seconds.
I don't know what that means.
And each gate can be subdivided into lines, colors, tones, and bases, giving 1,080 unique points
I guess fuck you if you're colorblind. You don't get gates.
of value. Human design is truly the science of differentiation. It is the rave body graph that transforms all these possibilities into the magic of a unique individual design. The body graph is new an extraordinary
I want you to
map
study my body
individual
graph.
transformation.
Oh, the music
And
stopped.
it too is a synthesis. The graph is built on centers or energy information hubs. The centers are rooted in the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, which had formed principal...
This really is just a whole bunch of other shit smooshed together into some new age mumbo-jumbo wonky-winky woodoos.
mastery in the age of the seven-centered being. The connections between the centers, known in design as channels, are from the Sephiroth of Kabbalah.
Oh, that was in the fucking spooky witchcraft house that we were looking at. We saw the Sephiroth on the altar in the creepy room.
And the gates at either end of the channels are from the I Ching. It is the I Ching gates that are the key. Through the gates, any act, any position in the wheel.
This guy's inflection is so fucking weird. He sounds AI, even though I know he's not.
Can be translated to a position within the body graph. In this way, human design calculations can translate an individual's positional data into a unique body graph configuration.
So you need to have like multiple gates opened in order to fill the travel pathways completely. Like if you get 22, it only goes halfway, so you also need to get 12. So you gotta figure out how to open multiple of these gates. How do these people memorize this shit? How do they remember this shit, and how do they know how to do this? This is fucking nonsense, man. What is happening? He sounds like he's from Mars. Well, he is a man.
Wave chart. The calculation of an individual design begins with accurate birth time, but unlike astrological calculation, an individual design is based on two.
He's doing this for an Italian?
Calculations.
Okay.
The nine-centered being.
Oh, that didn't explain anything!
Our binary consciousness. In rave cosmology, the totality, called the biverse, is the byproduct of a juxtaposed tension between atomics and dark matter.
What?
According to the cosmology,
why are we on the surface of the sun?
There were two dark matter crystals that shattered and dispersed at the Big Bang. The yin and yang.
Who made the dark crystals, and why were they floating out in space to get destroyed by the Big Bang? Like, what were these, and how did they get there? Is there an explanation for that?
Expressed through design and personality crystals of consciousness.
Charge a jerk-off
The
crystals.
emergence of atomics also produced neutrinos, the most abundant of all things. The neutrino ocean produced by all the living stars is filtered by the crystals of consciousness. Every living thing is endowed with two crystals of consciousness.
Where are these crystals located? Like, is this why some African tribes find bald people and break their heads open to get at the inner crystals? Like, they think it's gold. But if it's not gold, maybe it's these soul crystals they're trying to get. Maybe we need to start cracking open bald people's heads to get the soul crystals.
An aspect of the original yin, the design crystal, that transforms the neutrino data into the body. And
Wait,
the
I thought it was neutrino. Now we have neutrina? How am I supposed to know the gender of the neutrine? I want to understand.
And the aspect from the original yang, the personality crystal, that transforms the neutrino data into the potential of self-reflected consciousness.
What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about?
What binds the biverse together binds us as well. It is the third and crucial element to the structure of the nine-centered being. It is the magnetic monopole. In our design, these three elements have specific locations within
Why is the body the Grand Canyon? What is this topographical map?
our bodies. The magnetic monopole sits in the sternum and holds us together in the illusion of our separateness. And gives us our direction for life. The design crystal sits within
Look, you can't just activate the Zohar and stop playing the song in Nephilim while I'm watching this video, okay? Your mind control ain't gonna work on me, little girl.
skull, and is the intelligence that operates and maintains the body. The personality crystal sits above the scalp, and it is the intelligence we recognize as who we think we are. The design.
I was correct. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Look at the crystal in the bald man's head. They held the secrets the whole time. They held the secrets, chat. The bald men's heads contain the crystals. And if we acquire the crystals from their heads, we acquire the knowledge of the universe from the original dark matter crystals that exploded at the Big Bang. And then once we get our hands on those dark matter crystals, we will understand both the inside and outside of ourselves and the parallel dimension selves that are parts scattered all across the universe. I figured it out, chat.
Is the vehicle. The magnetic monopole is the driver. And the
Driver.
personality crystal, who we think we are, is the passenger. One of the most profound...
So the dark matter crystal that's farther in our skulls speaks to the driver in our sternum, and that's who we really are. But we think that we are the passenger crystal that's at the top of our skull, that's where our personality is held. But our personality isn't real. Our personality isn't who we actually are. We need to tap into the vehicle crystal that communicates with the driver crystal in order to figure out who we really are. And this is what these definitely not lying people are going to help you figure out.
Potentials in human design is the awakening of passenger consciousness.
What?
The two calculations in a human design chart display the imprint of each crystal separately. In the rave chart, you see two sets of data on either side of the body graph. On the right is the personality data, coded in black. And on the left, the
Why has
design
it gotta be
data,
black?
coded in red.
Why has it got to be red?
At conception, the fetus is endowed with a crystal.
Hey, I've seen this movie!
That manifests the evolving form.
I liked Look Who's Talking! That was a fun movie! So you got your manifested dark energy crystal inside your skull when you're a baby. And if you grow hair, your dark energy crystal is protected from outside influence. But if you're bald, then people can steal it.
Magnetic monopole that maintains its unique integrity and destiny. Only when the vehicle is ready does the personality crystal incarnate. This event takes place exactly 88 degrees of the sun's movement before birth.
Brother, what? Brother, what? So what if the baby never turns the right way to welcome in the 88 degrees of the sun's movement before they're born? Is this how we have like child murderers? They never got implanted with their dark energy crystal that turned into a light energy crystal that was able to help them unlock their true potential, and so they retained the dark energy crystal because they lacked the 88 degrees of the sun's movement? And that's why we have so much crime? Don't take the Kool-Aid from this guy.
Or more simply, approximately 3 months before the birth. In a human design calculation, the birth...
So that's why states are like, okay, we can't do late-term abortion because then you won't grow your crystal. They have to wait until the crystal grows inside the baby's head.
Time calculation of the positions of the sun, earth, lunar nodes, moon, and planets form the personality database, the black, the who you think you are. Calculating backwards from the birth time, 88 degrees of the movement of the sun, the point arrived at is the basis for the second calculation of the planetary positions.
But how do you know that?
The red, the body, the biogenetic inheritance, the unconscious. Once the two calculations are complete, and the positions of the imprinting objects indicated in the rave mandala, then the magic of a unique individual design can emerge.
The fuck?
The positions in the gates of the wheel can then be transposed to the graph itself. This is illustrated by coloring in half of the channel.
Okay.
The database comes alive.
But what if you had like extra strong sunshine rays when you got hit with the 88-degree sunshine angle while you were in your mother's womb? What if in fact you fill up more than just half of one of these traverse tunnels inside of your body? Like, how do you know it's always equal halves? Couldn't it be less? Couldn't it be more? You know? Like, how do you know?
The body graph.
The
graph is a map. Imagine that each center is a community, and these communities are connected by roads and tunnels.
Oh, so we're miscegenating inside of our own bodies, you say?
And the tunnels in red are what is unconscious. When centers are connected to each other, when the gates at either end of a channel are activated, a definition is formed.
Okay.
A definition is what throughout life will be reliable and consistent.
Okay.
Human design is the science of differentiation. There are endless numbers of possibilities in the way in which body graphs are configured.
Is this a Creed song?
There are 4 different kinds of definition. Single definition, a continuous connection. Split definition, 2 areas of definition separate from each other.
The fuck?
Triple split definition, 3 separated areas, and rarely quadruple split definitions, 4 separate areas.
So, like, which one's the best
Finally,
one?
there
I
are those
got a
without
min-max, dude.
definition. Most importantly, definition or not, leads to the core of human design knowledge and its value to you.
I don't know, you guys. Like, I really like MMOs, but I feel like this skill tree system is really convoluted. I feel like this is going to be kind of harmful to casual players because they're not going to be able to compete with the PvP players who are going to be able to dump a lot more points into the skill tree than they are. I feel like the devs really need to rework what they're working with here. It's a bit too much. All right, okay. The fuck is this, like Martin Luther King Sacagawea shit in the background?
Mechanical knowledge. The mechanics reveal that we are a binary consciousness. The graphing clearly indicates that we are a juxtaposition of 2 sets of data. Herein lays the dilemma.
Wait, but how can we be a binary consciousness if we're also able to use this as like a way to help our astral projection to communicate with parts of us in different parts of time? So like I can go and communicate with like my 11-year-old self and also my 89-year-old self, but also I can communicate with myself in other dimensions and other timelines. So like what if I wanted to timeline hop and then talk to myself at like both like 37 years old, 82 years old, and 7 years old? Like how... That's not really binary, is it? Because it's both interdimensional and intertimeline, is it not? So that would be more than just binary, would it not?
And the greatest challenge of the emerging nine-centered being. We are all objects moving through a duality.
The infinite Kirsche.
Our 7-centered ancestors were limited to a singular consciousness and relied exclusively on mind for decision-making. Human design is about transforming.
That's my head. There's nothing in there but a couple of gears, and sometimes they don't turn very well.
Your life by making decisions as yourself, and it is not about mind. It is type that reveals the mechanical strategy and authority derived not from
that
your
guy's
mind and
cute.
its deep openness to conditioning, but from your body, your vehicle.
Is this fucking silhouetted image wearing Jinko jeans? Is he wearing Jinko jeans? That's how you know he's truly enlightened. That man can fit a toaster oven in them pockets.
Your design consciousness. This is the great experiment that defines human design. The experiment with your strategy and authority. Free your mind to see and discover the beauty of your unique purpose.
That's true. Chad, if you're still confused, you just need to free yourself, okay?
All begins with your type. Humanity, mechanically, is divided into 4
I feel like the video should have ended there. Like, that felt like a good conclusion for what we were watching, but there's still a few minutes left somehow.
Manifestors, generators, projectors, and reflectors.
Wait, so after all of that skill tree nonsense, I have to pick a subclass now? Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to know what kind of subclass I need to be? What am I spec'd for?
Generators are the dominant type on the planet with nearly 70% of the population.
How do you know?
They are the driving life force of the planet. Their strategy is to respond, and through response to find satisfaction and avoid frustration.
If they're 70% of the population and they're also the driving force, how are they responders? Wouldn't being a responder naturally make them not a driving force because they're responding to things, not being the thing creating the force? Hold on, wait a minute!
They have an open and enveloping aura and are here to know themselves.
themselves.
Projectors are around 20% of the population. Their strategy is to wait for the invitation, to find success, and to avoid bitterness. They have a focused and absorbing aura.
Oh, it's green.
And
I
are
hate
here
this
to
one.
understand the other.
Who are you?
Manifestors are about 9% of the population.
Is that why a lot of these people who offer these coaching courses call themselves manifestors? So they can be like, well, I'm not the rarest type, but I am a special little snowflake, and that's why you should buy my $800 course.
Their strategy is to inform before they act, to find peace and avoid anger. They have a closed and repelling aura and are here to understand their impact on others.
So is this just like MBTI scale for even more mentally ill people? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Reflectors are without definition.
Oh.
And are just over 1% of the population.
Yeah, that's me. I'm so special you can't define me, chat. This one's me. Look, it's blue. It was meant to be.
Their strategy is to wait a full cycle of the moon before making decisions to find...
Yep, that's true. I do that. I leave my tabs open if I want to buy something for a full moon cycle before I decide if I actually want to spend money on it or not. Chat, it knows me so well. Chat, how did it know?
Find surprise and avoid disappointment.
That's true. I do avoid disappointment, and today we found surprise. Look at what we're watching! Thanks, federal agents. I'm so glad you're losing your jobs. And that brought me this surprise. I'm not at all disappointed.
They have a resistant and sampling aura.
Oh, I get an expanded definition. That's why I'm only 1% of the population, and like you guys are so common, chat.
To see difference. The quality and potential of your life is based on the decisions you make and the directions they lead to.
The quality of your life is based on the decisions you make. We're getting real fucking deep here, chat. I don't know if you guys have the IQ levels to understand what this guy means.
Look at any rave chart and you will see an obvious duality between what is activated and colored.
You're a rare gem. That's right, I'm not Cole.
As humans, we are ruled by the genetic imperative to be attracted to what we are not. This genetic law that maintains the health of the gene pool pulls us towards conditioning. Each open center has a not-self strategy that directly impacts mental decision-making. For the majority of human beings,
that's you,
their minds are conditioned by their openness,
and
this distorts their decision-making. Your strategy sidesteps this basic pitfall. In human design, as we are a binary consciousness, we are endowed with two authorities. The inner authority of the body to determine the life and the outer authority of mind to express unique awareness. In the conditioned being, known as the not-self, the mind expresses both inner and outer authority. A mind absorbed in the machinations of survival will always withhold some truth in its attempt to control its future. We are not here to be absorbed in survival consciousness.
What does that mean?
Your strategy is there to align your life to the correct geometry, to eliminate resistance, and to offer the great challenge of awareness to your personality.
What the fuck?
But the most important step is to try the
Is that an
experiment
elephant?
for yourself. Change the way you make your decisions. Through experiment, you will learn to honor your strategy and authority. It is the way to differentiation and the fulfillment of purpose. And thank you for watching. And remember, you're here to love yourself.
What is happening? You're here to love yourself, Chad. You gotta be gripping it more often. Boom. What is this?
An introduction to human design with Ra Uhuru. Animation and editing, Mao Cataned. Script and audio, Ra Uhuru.
Original soundtrack and composer Jean-Pierre Pasquier. Produced by VoD Archive Media. What the fuck did I just watch, chat? Brother, this said all rights reserved 2009. Chat, my memory stopped working in 2009. Is this a sign? Is this what happened to me? Did I unlock some sort of inner chakra knowledge that sealed away my memories because I played with Dark Crystal powers across too many timelines and I lost a battle against an Odin summon with my King Arthur summon? Is that what happened to me? What is going on? I'll go to the Zenwell Studio website, man. I need to feel seen, heard, and enlivened. Zenwell drip. Let's talk. Fuck off. Our partners, the CIA, Joy of Beauty, Aisha AM Masak, makeup and skincare. Okay, all right. Zenwell Studio services. Explore our holistic wellness classes. All right, so they offer wellness classes where they swing candles around for some reason. Each session integrates a blend of guided meditation, healing energy, mindful movement, breath work, and intuitive coaching. Reiki energy healing. That was that room, the massage studio room. So it's not even a real massage. She just hovers her hands over you and puts a weird pyramid with a shrimp on it over your penis. Guided meditation and sound healing. Bong! I've healed you, chat. Now you owe me $1,000. You're welcome. Whether you're looking to relieve tension, elevate your energy, or simply find stillness in your day, these sessions offer a powerful way to realign and reconnect with yourself. Pilates, gentle flow yoga, beginner yoga, mat Pilates, V-peel for face and body. Why V-peel? Why does she have a tattoo that says 444? Isn't that like a gang affiliation thing? What's this? V-peel Precision Plus with Purify. Holy shit, did you see that? How does that happen? How does that happen to your chin? Oh my god! That's scary! Like, you need a dermatologist, not a holistic lady. They never got, like, crazy rigidy skin, like, discoloration. It's ingrown hairs? I mean, maybe. There's holistic health coaching, biometric screenings here as well. What's the drip? IV therapy, hydration, and vitamin injection therapy. Yeah, I don't know if I would trust that shit, man. I drink enough water, okay?
Thank you for the healing. This is the first of 20 payments.
You need a payment plan? I don't know if I can give you a payment plan, alright? Spiritual healing, it needs a full upfront cost. I don't know if I would trust an injection from the 1960s, you know? Skinny drip. Burn fat! Yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, I bet it does. You let dogs in here? Taurine, glycosine, magnesium, get big cums. We're now offering injection therapy. B12, glutathione, metabolism, vitamin D, tri-immunity. Public speaking engagements with Janine Horn. Why are these guys giving public speaking? How to book me? How much does it cost to have you speak? 30 minutes? Let's say June 19th. At 12:30 p.m. Oh, it doesn't even tell you a price. That's how you know that shit's about to be expensive. That's how you know. Browse our website. Crystal Welcome. What a horrifying name. Blog. Fed workers turn presidential stress into Zen calm. Discover how. Yeah. That's how we got here, by the way. Mindfulness sessions, Reiki, healing energy, why Zenwell Studio. Integrated programs designed specifically for federal workers. These programs combine mindfulness, physical movement, and emotional resilience training. Personalized coaching and workshops tailored to individual needs, ensuring that each worker can access the tools that best work for them. Digital and in-person sessions, flexible delivery methods. Okay, all right. Building trust through a search-driven why. Okay. Call to action for federal workers to reclaim their well-being and for leaders to champion initiatives that care for the whole person. Embrace the journey with Zenwell Studio. Chad, I have a question. And if they're there are black people in chat. Let me know if I'm if I'm hitting close here. So you know how when immigrants come to America and like their family immediately thinks that they become like super fucking wealthy, and so they constantly send money back to their family all the time, and their family ends up basically financially abusing them as like a free wallet. And like usually their spouse has to be like, honey, I know you love your family, but like you're paying for their rent, you're paying for their clothes, you're paying for everything. And they're just being mean to you, right? Like they're taking advantage of you. You maybe need to stop sending as much money back. These people who set up these businesses, right? Like these black people who come in and they set up these scam businesses. I'm assuming they know that they're taking advantage of people. And they're basically giving out scam courses. Are they doing the exact same thing as like the immigrants' families taking advantage of them for the long term? They come into these like wealthy black neighborhoods and sell them snake oil and hope to make a comfortable living off of selling the snake oil. Yes? Okay. All right. I had to ask. I'm not black, right? So like I wouldn't know. This is a Dominican thing as well, exactly as you mentioned. I've seen it like, you know, with like Colombian people who have talked about it, and like Mexicans who have talked about it. People from like Nicaragua have talked about it. It's like I don't know how widespread it is. I just know that it's like a typical stereotype, as it were. MLM don't care about color, only green. Oh yeah, there's plenty of like fucking dumbass white women who do the MLM shit as well. But this is like, the dumbass white women will just go anywhere, right? Like they don't specifically target white people. But this was like, this woman is a black woman who set up a scam studio with like a scam practice specifically targeting a black neighborhood. Right? So it feels a little bit like extra insidious on it. Here we go. So this is how we got here. Janine Horn is the owner of that studio. We watched a couple of her videos. We went back and we read some of the services she provided because none of her videos explained what the fuck she actually does. So we finally have come full circle, chat. And she estimates that 75% of the clients she sees at her health and wellness studio near Waldorf are federal workers. Please remember that schizophrenic journey we just went down. 75% of her clients, she offers that kind of coaching. I've already forgotten what the fuck it's called. She offers that. 75% of the clients are federal workers. My clients were scaling back, and that was a source of worries for me. In recent weeks, however, her business has rebounded. She believes that's a sign that ongoing stress related to the federal government is driving demand for mental and physical health services. According to early results of a survey by the Charles County Economic Development Department, 20 businesses have reported being affected by federal policy changes under the Trump administration. Besides losing customers, entrepreneurs said they've experienced delays, cancellations, or changes to government contracts that supported their businesses. There it is. There it is. The government funding of your nonsense schizophrenia is running out. You're gonna have to find another grift, lady. Oh God, that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. Cut the fucking gravy train off. Businesses are also facing an uncertain future in Prince George's County, where 28 government installations and over 70,000 federal workers fuel the fifth largest economy in the state. Brother, that's not good if the fifth largest economy in the state is entirely run by federal workers receiving funds by being part of the federal government. Economy with heavy quotes, dude. A family-run linen store in Oxon Hill announced it would close this month after federal layoffs contributed to a steep drop in customers and its worst sales month in 37 years. Federal workers live in almost every tract in Prince George's and Charles counties. In the tract where the Joint Base Andrews is located, more than half the workforce are federal workers. DEL is that state delegate. Adrian Boafo expressed concern about attracting new business growth, particularly after Trump vowed to block the FBI headquarters relocation to the county. It doesn't allow us to become economically viable at a time where we're trying to make sure that Prince George's County is open for business, said Boafo, whose district includes two major hubs of federal workers, Bowie and Upper Marlboro. If your economy literally relies on government funding, you don't have a real economy. That is like complete smoke and mirrors, man. At a February meeting of the Board of Charles County Commissioners, local leaders called Trump's return to the White House a pivotal time in the country's history. One commissioner warned that my BGM is off. Widespread job losses could shrink the country's property and income tax revenue, affecting its ability to fund schools, public safety, and infrastructure. It looks like you're going to have to expand your private sector, eh? This could have devastating effects across these communities. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. Not my problem. I didn't put all of my eggs in federal funding baskets. Not my problem. I don't care. Said Darity, the Duke economist, increased unemployment has a community-wide effect, even in the households or families where the adult has not been rendered jobless. Learn to code. Learn to code. The current climate is already forcing some residents to make hard choices in the housing market. There were nearly 6,000 new listings in the greater DC area in March, according to a report from the multiple listing service Bright MLS. Inventory there is rising faster than in the broader Mid-Atlantic. This is great because this is a way that house prices are going to continue falling. All of these federal cuts, all of the federal funding cuts, all of the job cuts, they're going to be basically bringing prices back in line where they should have been the entire time. Because people are going to be losing their busy work jobs that they didn't actually do anything at. Funding for nonsense gobbledygook that had no business being funded is going to be hopefully redirected into things that actually matter, and we're going to save quite a lot of money. Learn to put the fries in the bag. John Collar, a property manager and owner of Colonial Realty in Waldorf, said one of his tenants moved out of a Bryan's Road home after losing a 6-figure government job.
Way.
Another left Waldorf to live with family near DC after Trump required remote employees to return to their offices.
Way.
It was a single mom, so her life changes when she has to commute. You telling me that a single mom had a 6-figure job in a government position and was able to live in one of the more expensive regions of the country? And you expect me to feel bad for this individual who was doing nothing and making much more money than I was? Boafo, a first-term delegate, grew up in a community full of federal workers, which he said inspired him to major in government and public policy at the University of Baltimore, work on Capitol Hill, and eventually run for office. Hey, yo, everyone else around me was on the free gravy train ride for life. Why can't I take advantage of that? It's my turn. It's my turn for the free set for life gravy train. Who am I going to scam now? How are they taking away all of our free funding? Oh, my God. If she can do such an important job, why can't she do the important job of finding a father that'll stay? He worries that the federal government's actions will reshape the region and have lasting effects on its future. There's a generation of kids who are seeing this and are looking at federal government work as not dependable, Baufo said, and that's going to be the worst part of all of this. No, that's the best part. Government work should not be seen as a dependable set for life guaranteed income. What the fuck do you mean? We've gone down the rabbit hole of schizophrenia from the federal cuts are destabilizing the richest black counties. And, if you ask Grok, hey, Grok, is this real? Is this real, Grok? What are the estimates of college-educated white and black people in government positions? And Grok will tell you, the final estimates of college-educated white men, about 11 to 12% work in the government, federal, state, county, local. College-educated white women, about 11 to 12% work in the government. College-educated black men, about 16 to 17% work in government. And college-educated black women, 20 to 21% work in the government. Notes: Black overrepresentation. Black Americans, especially black women, are overrepresented in the public sector jobs relative to their population share, often due to stable benefits and less discriminatory hiring practices historically. Less discriminatory? Do you mean affirmative action? At the state and local impact, local government, e.g. teachers and social workers, boost female and black representation, increasing percentages compared to federal-only estimates. Data gaps, no single source, perfectly aligns race, gender, education, and all government employment. These estimates rely on BLS, OPM, and census data with assumptions for distribution. Context: public sector jobs include diverse roles, e.g. postal workers, teachers, and administrators, and college-educated workers are more common in professional or administrative positions. As Isn't that kind of funny? You know? Isn't that silly? Doesn't that just make you feel like having a laugh, having a little goof? You know? Artificially inflate you, AI. Most of those jobs are just looking for a warm body. Anyone that can do better will. Which is why that article in and of itself was funny. I need a drink.